full and unfeeling way. If you're spiritual and you're connected to source, whatever you believe, God, whatever you believe in, then why wouldn't you be more loving in the way you approach the situation, is my point.
Yeah, I would say if you're gonna preach, you better practice whatever you preach, because there's a lot of people out there, they like to talk and about spirituality, and spirituality they make it like a marketing and make it like a business. Trendy, and they don't know nothing, and they don't go through life with nothing, like a very I don't know. I would say that you don't say that you are inspirate or whatever. You just say things and people will say, oh, I like her because this person inspired me. Oh, I like this person because people inspire, but not pretend to be someone that probably don't practice what you say.
Is my point exactly. So I just thought I'd share that with everyone and put some love out there and remind you that these are the times that a lot of us are here for, to share our love and to share our light and to help other people elevate through love and compassion and caring. So just a reminder, you don't know what someone else's life story is. I closed the message that I sent him with, it costs nothing to be kind and to keep one's opinion to yourself.
Kia, thinking about that, he triggers you because you come from a child of you. So if somebody tells you that, you know and recognize that, so that you are far away from that.
I know. It was actually kind of funny to me, like, to be honest. I was like, what are you talking about? You have no idea. Like you can't possibly understand what child abuse feels like.
Exactly.
And it's nothing like wearing a mask, with a loose mask that my son could clearly breathe in and enjoy. And actually, you guys, he had an amazing day. So that said, let's talk about who we have waiting to come on. Yeah. All right. So as you know, it's my favorite to connect with my students at London Real Academy. And they're always creating something. They're creating beautiful things to put it out into the world, even as we speak, whether it's a podcast or a business. It is something that's going to help the global community. And Hot Topics Live is a global show. So we want to bring you that information that could help you on your journey. And I know that in Europe, which is where our largest fan base is going into another lockdown. And so we're sending you all lots of love and compassion because we know how difficult it is. Yeah. But while you're there, and if you're not living in France, or if you are in France and you don't speak French yet, here's something you can do during your lockdown really quickly to improve yourself and maybe do something you always wanted to do. So my guest today, his name is Olivier. And he created a business called French You So Much. Now, what is amazing about French You So Much is that it rapidly teaches you how to speak French in 4 weeks.
Wow.
Now, that is a big claim. And when I first heard it, I wasn't sure. So the more I got to know Olivier, the more I realized this man had a plan and that this plan could work. So without further ado, let's bring him on and ask him some questions about how he got started in this and how it can help us learn French really fast.
Because when I was in school, I have a French for 2 years and I don't learn anything.
Well, this might be the guy for you.
Hey, hello. Olivier.
Hi, everybody. Can you see me well? Can you hear me well? Hi.
Yes.
Olivier Malanda, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct. Yes, correct.
So where are you?
I'm currently in Germany. I'm in Erlangen. That's in the south of Germany, in Bavaria. So I've been there for now 2 years. And having a great time there.
And what time is now?
Now it's 9:15, around 9:15.
PM.
PM.
Okay, that's awesome, from Germany.
Yeah.
Yes.
So originally, of course, I'm not from Germany. I'm French. I'm coming actually from Martinique, which is a small island in the Caribbean, a former French colony. And this is where I've been raised actually, and then I've studied in France most of my let's say engineer years, and now I'm here in Germany I've been there for two years now. That's in a nutshell where I'm standing now.
Wow, that is
Wow.
awesome.
So tell us a little bit more about yourself. Like, how did you decide to create this kind of program?
Yeah, very good questions for asking. So I've always been intrigued by languages. So that's by living in the youth. Okay, so that was quite interesting. Being able to live in Martinique was also very good because you're, let's say, you live in a country which is neighbored by other English speaking and Spanish speaking countries. So that was actually a real booster for myself. And I was, let's say, quite active in getting fluent in these two languages. Okay. Then this gave me the idea to support and help all the people doing exactly the same. And I tried to tweak it with an accelerated version because people want to, let's say, immediately be immersed and get in the language. Otherwise, they're going to plateau, and it's not fun at all. And I was personally experiencing it in Germany because sometimes you are here in Germany, you don't really understand what is going on. Sometimes the discussions are already done, and you're still waiting for something else to happen. So this is a very tricky situation where you don't know how to correctly use the language. So that was the story. And so back in 2016, I decided to embark in this story with imagine a scenario. How much time would I need to train someone who has basis, who has foundations in French to get fluent? And I came with this formula, which is only 4 weeks. So I've tested it, tweaked it a little bit, and then I'm, let's say, spreading the word and spreading the words to help as much student as possible. That's the story.
Wow, but French
Yeah.
for me is very difficult to learn, especially when you have with your tongue. There's some words that are very hard for
Yeah.
pronunciation.
Exactly. So hopefully, let's say there is differences depending on the country you're from. Okay. For example, French will not be that difficult for, let's say, Spanish or Italian speaking people. Okay. Whereas if you're totally coming from China or other countries, it might be a little bit complicated. And the same, vice versa, is exactly the same. Okay, but there are some tweaks that help you get accustomed to the new language, and there are also some, I would say, mental barriers that you need to break in order to make this happen. Just I'm putting my feet in any beginner shoes. For example, with German, you see words that are extremely long. You're not used to pronounce this kind of words and do not really understand how you need to manage it. So you need to create what I call the ecosystem to make sure that you are constantly in the flow and using and leveraging your experience with the particular language. And this is the way I tweak the approach in order to, let's say, deliver this particular formula. So Gloria, I understand, and it is very common phenomenon that people take French at an early stage because it's the language of culture, sophistication, elegance, etc. So they like it a lot. It's very
Yes.
fun at the beginning, but ultimately it's really strange. Let me do something, a demonstration. It's without talking. Even I won't talk in French nor in English. Just look these things. The youngest of your community will not know this. This is a
Yes.
Rubik's Cube, okay?
Yes.
So three-dimensional puzzle, if you recall, okay? I'm
Uh-huh.
going to do something very quick. And there it is, fully done, fully completed, okay? Okay? In fact, the trick is I use both, okay? I have the good one and the wrong one. Okay, so what I would like to show you, the parallel I would like to establish, is that you cannot, let's say, a decent person cannot, let's say, make this happen in a very short time frame. You need a very specific technique in order to properly manipulate each of this thing. You see, you have grammar here, you have conjugation, you have the proper pronunciation, etc., etc., to have the very good technique to make all these things happen at the very same time. Okay, this is, if I have one idea that you need to understand, is that yes, it's possible, but you need to have the very specific approach to make that happen. And in exactly the same parallel you can establish with Formula One. Okay, if you go to let's say you go and want to change your tires, okay, at your regular garage, this will take you, I don't know, 20 minutes. Okay, let's say you're lucky, you get 20 minutes. If you do it, let's say in a pit stop for Formula One team, this is 2 seconds. Okay, why? Because you have all the environments and a really strong system that make it happen. So this is a repeated formula. This is a very, let's say, strong concept. You have the proper environment, the proper team, the proper sequence to make sure that when the guy stops there, he has no more than 2 seconds to get everything done. And this is exactly the formula or the concept I use to tweak around French. This is it. I can elaborate a little bit further, but if you have any question at this stage, feel free, and I will be happy to proceed
so
further.
the person who go to your course, it needs to know a little bit of French, or
Absolutely. I cannot possibly take, let's say, real beginners. You need to have the basic foundations. So there is kind of a scale in the let's say in the mastery of French. I go with B1 minimum or B2, which corresponds to lower intermediate or higher intermediate. Okay, as long as you can justify that you have this particular level, we can go from there, and I take you by the hand because I'm here every day with you, and I push you, and we make this happen. And now you may say how this is going to happen. I can answer this as well.
Good, that was my question.
Yeah, perfect. So there's something that you need to have. So as I mentioned earlier, a very good system, okay? And the system is based on 3 pillars. So this is what I call the fluency triangle. Fluency triangle. So you have 3